Hey guys, so this one will be a really quick Facebook Live because I don't even have my proper setup going on with the microphones and all the rest of it. What I want to talk to you guys today, because this is probably going to go, might even pump ads around it. I actually want to start getting people on the Facebook Live. I've got 2 people set up this month, David James from Business Growth Marketing and an old colleague, Fran Forzan from Yoga Digital, who'll be talking about running an agency, search engine optimization, and different topics. So that's going to be quite interesting. But what I want like more people to come on, because I actually want to start doing this a lot more than I ever used to. Who would have thought, right, that I would actually love like interviewing people? Like you take me with my boisterous extrovert personality and you put me in more of a secondary listening capacity. I thought I would definitely struggle with that, but not only I don't struggle with it, maybe I cut people off, but I absolutely love it. Like I love the whole interviewing process. I'm going to be the Greek male version of Oprah. I think that's what I'm going to start doing. I can see why it's a lucrative job. I actually really enjoy it, and I actually want to get more people on it. So if you're a young startup, if you're a young little gun, there's like so many of you, and you'll be doing me a favor because I'll be learning to get better at it. I originally started these Facebook Live videos to help me. If you remember the very first one, if you were listening to the very first one that I did, you would remember that I actually started this because I wanted to get better at public speaking. It's evolved into now really where I want to start pushing things for Omega Digital is the podcasting, bringing people on, talking. There's so many of you out there just on my friends network. There's over 150 people on the business liking page. If you're a business, if you're a startup, if you want to talk about marketing, or just like maybe you want to ask me questions. I actually want to start building new content around interviewing people. I absolutely loved interviewing Crystal more than a month ago. I probably will get her back on because we just didn't really finish a lot of what we wanted to say. A lot of the feedback has been absolutely amazing in terms of actually getting people on and people listening in. And I think that it just makes so much sense to keep doing this, not only because I love it, but I believe it will produce great content for the audience, it will produce great content for Omega Digital, and it will bring, like, people will be able to share their perspectives, their points of view. Actually very interested in listening to Matthew's Forzan's testimony in regards to setting up an agency. Like I'm really keen on what he found to be troubling, because I'm definitely going to start sharing mine. Obviously, with my battles with anxiety in those very early years, hurting the business a little bit, my head wasn't really anywhere near it needed to be, on top of my inexperience. So that was some of the battles that I faced, and I'm looking forward to actually hearing about other businesses when they got started, and that they're well on their way to becoming established, successful businesses. And I'm very interested in seeing and learning about what they did and their direction, and from the established business, from the startup phase. I've always mentioned across my different social media platforms that when I did my talk back in May, I got a question like, have you got any experience with startups? And actually, I don't have any experience with startups in terms of online marketing. And I think that if I can bring on people in the startup phase and just ask them questions, I will learn, the community will learn, the audience will learn, Omega Digital will produce great content, and I think it just makes sense. It's something that I've always wanted to do since starting this, because I really want to start it. I absolutely am obsessed with actually hosting people and listening it's my mum's birthday, and I remember watching the Bio channel with her all the time on Foxtel, and just being like it's interesting to hear people's stories. Well, I find it interesting anyway. So I actually want to start incorporating that in. So if you're out there and you want to chat about whether it's startup, whether it's you've got an established business, and I got two this month, as I just mentioned, as people are joining us. So it's going to be quite interesting, because I actually want to chat. I think even like I've been running the business now for 6+ years, and I think there's a lot of startup problems that I can actually relate to, in particular in the first year of starting a business, because it's absolutely the most hardest, difficult, time-consuming, emotionally absorbing, spiritually draining, physically just sickening at times when you're not bringing in any money for about 6 months or a year like I was. I went backwards and lost 30K. But the fun thing is that like battle scars are attractive. People like to hear how you turned it around. What I did, how I moved the business to a subscription model and online marketing, that absolutely helped the business a lot in focusing back on search engine optimization, which is my key service. And so it's just interesting to hear what other people have to say, and I'm just absolutely keen on getting these podcasts up and running. So what I'm planning on doing is taping them on Facebook Live, so you can actually listen. People can actually watch in live. I'm going to leave them on the Omega Digital Facebook page. Then I'm actually going to convert them to MP3 and throw them on the podcast, which you can visit omegadigital.com.au and click the SoundCloud icon and follow us and like us on that. So that's actually what I want to start doing. I think I absolutely like when I'm a people person. So once I start chatting to people and I just can't stop. Also, like I said, the feedback from probably all the content that's been thrown out on Omega Digital, the interview with Crystal seems to be the one that people keep referring back to. People love to listen to Crystal and her business model of the really of the tutoring business and the online setup that she did, and the fact that she's doing really well. And it was just great to sort of have her ask me questions and back and forth. So I don't know if I'm going to turn into the next Rove, but one thing is for sure, I'm having a shitload of fun, and that's all that counts. And I just want this to be more about you who's watching rather than me and the business. So I think that would be interesting. So I'm also trying to start another 2 divisions, which is just actually becoming far more time consuming than I first imagined. One is going to be omegatalent.com.au, which I'm very interested in bringing in search engine optimizers and the next generation of marketers, people that get out of uni, that think they understand marketing, train them, and then send them on their way. It'll be a good recruitment model, because I'm going to want to specialize in online marketers. I think that's going to take a crap load of time, and I've got to find a lot of people, and that business may take a few years to really get off the ground, but I'm going to start with preparations on that over the next few months. And the second thing is, which I'm very excited about, is the omegasports.com.au. We actually want to start helping esports juniors that are playing like Call of Duty and whatever game, doesn't matter, helping them with their social media, and like even normal sports people. I want to start that division, which just focuses on Omega Sports, is going to focus on people's personal brands through esports, which is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Whether they're soccer players in the A-League or whatever league, the no league or whatever. I think that's actually going to be very interesting, because I think the PR these days is best handled on social media. And you can see now all the big football stars around the world, baseball, NFL, basketball, everyone is sort of has their own sort of social media profile. There's a lot to sort of handle. And Omega Digital is still going to be handling business-based social media and search engine optimization, while I'm planning for Omega Sports to actually I also want to probably start funding esports players. Obviously, the ones that I think they're up and coming, because I don't have that much large amounts of money and resources to throw at it. The fact that I can go on Twitch right now and I want the business to tap into that market because it's huge, but also the fact that getting people to understand that they can actually start recording, and maybe like my brother-in-law, my own brother, they're all massive gamers, and it's not as easy as just, I'm going to film something and then throw it up on Twitch. But the fact that you can download Twitch TV on your phone and watch people play games, and the fact that there's more people now watching people play games than actually physically playing them is absolutely fascinating, mind-blowing to me. And so I definitely want to actually get into understanding that business and that process more, and helping people kind of set up that industry in the Amiga Sports esports section. Because I was actually thinking, I don't want to go down the route of becoming an agent. I don't think, not now. I can't. There's just too much on my plate. But you're just helping the next generation people getting in and managing their social media profile, helping, guiding, directing, and consulting for them. I think that's something that will be quite fascinating. So those two divisions I want to set up, while Amiga Digital will be primarily focused on business branding, whereas Amiga Sports will be focused more on the personal side. Because I was thinking of amalgamating both of them together, but I think that's just going to make it convoluted and confusing, and I thought, there's no point doing that. It's just going to become a headache having them separate. Then I can always start setting up different companies under those three different names, because I am probably going to be looking at getting potential sort of investment. Maybe I'll see how that goes, because I'm probably going to need a bit of help with it. It's just time constraints. I can't understand how people don't have it. Some people find their work lives boring. For me, there's so much I want to do, and it just never seems to be enough time. And on the personal note, for me only, if on Twitter, what I'm doing is any way I can add value in terms of the anxiety. I'm actually I'm not going to start a counselor. I'm not a counsellor, but the personal stuff is two things I actually want. Actually, back on the Amiga Sports thing before I get to the personal thing. I actually want to start my own Liverpool FC podcast. So Darren 40, my best mate if you're out there, I'm starting it. The episode 1 is already up on Andy G. Everything will go through the hashtag #AskLinos, whether it's Amiga Digital, Amiga Sports, Amiga Talent. All of them are going to go through #AskLinos, and that hashtag is just going to be my personal hashtag that I'm going to start, build up. Heck, I'm only 30 years old. By the time I'm 35, I'm going to get a lot of tweets. I'm going to say it now so it's on the record. By the time I'm 35, I'm going to have a lot of people tweeting that. Well, I hope so. So I've started that. And I'm going to put that as another thing I want to put under the Amiga Sports banner as my own podcast around football. So every time Liverpool plays every week, I'm going to give my spiel. I don't know how much time and effort and I can actually devote to it, because I have a family that I need to see. But if I didn't, I'll probably be working 20 hours a day, sleeping 4, waking up and doing the same thing. Because there's so much stuff I want to start on, and I just can't. But I can tell you one thing for sure: I'm having a shitload of fun. I just want help. And on Monday, I have a friend that's actually all the content. See, when you start doing shit, things start to come to you. I got a friend who's actually a video editor that's going to actually come and help me. She's seen all the content that I've been producing on Facebook and on YouTube and on LinkedIn and on the podcast and on Instagram and just everywhere. Tumblr, I'm everywhere now. A lot of the feedback that I get is your head is everywhere. Well, that's pretty much the point. I'm glad that's the feedback I'm getting, because that's what I'm trying to do. And she's actually come to me and said one day a week she wants to set up her own video editing business. And so she wants to start filming me, and we have the perfect place to do it. So this coming Monday, I just said to her, look, at the end of the day, I've got to make sure I'm feeling it. I can't just sit in front of camera. If I don't feeling it in my gut, I can't create content. Like, I'm like a musician. You just got to be in the mood to sort of write the music. You can't just start writing the music. And I'm not saying that I'm a musician or any sort of performer like that, but when I create content, usually it's a rant that I'm working and something just hits my head and I'm like, bang, I've got to do a video on it. Literally, that's how it goes down. But having actually the camera there on Monday, someone actually expecting me to like produce content, to be on fire, I'm praying to God that I actually I'm going to actually have something useful to say. I talk about a wide range of topics. I'm actually even going to tell her that she just kind of has to like ask me questions to kind of like bring the fire out of me somehow. I talk about educating clients. I talk about producing content on social media. If your business is not doing it, you're basically irrelevant. No one knows who you are. If you're not producing content on your own website, you're not helping get visibility, then you're simply like just by now nuts, crazy if you're not producing content on your website. I mean, where do you think the world's going? So all this sort of stuff that I constantly on and harp on about, she's hopefully going to film me. So the last thing I wanted to discuss, and this is more personal, and I didn't really want to merge American Digital with my personal stuff, but it all kind of is all intertwined, you can say, is my anxiety stuff. So with my energy, I've actually done, this is pretty much why I'm saying it, I've done a lot of like on LinkedIn and on Twitter, a lot of anxiety and leadership and all that sort of stuff that I'm interested in that I really can't tie into one of the 3 divisions of Amiga. So that's why I thought, I made the decision that anything to do with anxiety, leadership, all these other little small things that I want to start helping. I actually want to start helping people with anxiety. I actually want to start talking about it more. I suffered from it. And my older brother actually reached out to me and said after I fainted that because I was getting checked out with my heart and all these different things. And it was my older brother that actually reached out to me and said, no, you don't have anything wrong with you physically. You just had a panic attack and you got anxiety. I know, I can tell that that's what you got. And so just that was the first time I realized, you know what, I think I've got that. That makes sense. That's what I have. And I got help and counseling and I suffered with it for 2 years. In 2013, 2015, the idea that one day I would stand in front of people and start talking about online marketing wasn't just would make my knees weak at the thought of it. The fact that I overcome it and did it, and I talk about 3 big components of life, which is contribution. Everyone, what you got to, and I talk about this, and this is business content. I talk about the importance of contributing to something bigger than yourself. For me, it's my church and it's other things that I do, and I want to help people a lot. And I want to contribute to things bigger than myself, helping people that are disadvantaged in life. I love doing all that, and just being involved in things bigger than me reduces anxiety. Whatever that means for you, you gotta get involved in that. And I talk about expression. And I'll get the expression last. Progression. So once contribution is obviously impacting. You have to feel like you're contributing to things bigger than yourself. People do like charities, volunteer work, something like that can bring I think it's scientifically backed that volunteer work, it just improves your mood. Just something that you can do. Like, I don't know what that means for you. It's like, I can't work that out like for you, but I figured what it works out for me. So I want to actually start working out with people what they can do and talk with them specifically. And progression, everyone in life feels like that's why I got so much on with business. Everyone over life, like you go through life and you don't want to look back the last 5 years and not feel like you've progressed. People that are in jobs that they hate and they're not going anywhere, what do? Stress and anxiety. Progression is such a key factor to reducing stress and anxiety. When I started in 2012, and I started going back to when Mum and Dad left, and I was living on my own. 2008, I never forget. I had like $2,000 in my bank account, and I just wanted like every month, even if it went up by $100, or $200 or $400. I just had, for me, very early on, it was what was important most to me. So the progression at the time, I wasn't even really thinking about climbing up the corporate ladder or trying to, make more money at work or become a director or anything like that. I just wanted to know that from February to March, or from May to April to June to July. I remember my brother's wedding was in October 2008. We went to Fiji. I just did a story on Fiji, that Fijian dude. That was a fantastic story. I think I put it up on Facebook. I just wanted to go from every month. For me, all I was obsessed with that progression in the early time was just knowing that if I lost my job, if I've got an extra $1,000 in my bank the next 2 or 3 months, I knew that, well, that's an extra month that I could survive. That was an extra month I could survive if I lost my job. That's an extra month. Like for me, to know that if I lost my job, that I couldn't pay shit, scared the death out of me. So all I was focusing now, or back then, was, even now I sort of like to have financial goals, but it isn't anywhere near what they used to be. Now that I'm married, I have other, it's all what I can do for my wife and son, what I need, and I'm so happy that I'm like this. I don't need shit. I don't need shit. Thanks, bro. Appreciate that. I love the esports stuff too, man. A big business. The fact is, I don't need absolutely shit. I don't need the cars. I don't need the boats. I don't need the luxury watches. I don't need clothes. Like my wife, she bought me this clothes. I don't buy shit. It's not because I don't want to spend money. That's part of it. But I just don't need anything. Like, the one thing I like at spending my time and money on is I like eating good food. I like eating organic food. And I spend a bit of money there. I like a good computer every now and then. Just a good computer. But cars, not interested. Just not interested in living in 5-bedroom houses and only living in 2 of them and 2 rooms. I'm not interested in that shit. I'm not interested in growing a big business so other people can look at me and say, look what that guy did. Not interested. Don't care. Don't give a shit. Not interested. I just actually, what I love doing is I like connecting with people. I love engaging with people. And that's my progression in that now is how many lives can I change? How many people can I talk to make their life better? And now that my brother's watching the WWE model of Vince McMahon, he tapped into the fact that there's more money in building other people up, which he did it for money. I'm not doing it for money, right? But it's who I am, and I don't give a shit what other people think. But for him, he realized, even from a business perspective, that there's more money in creating the Hulk Hogan, in Andre the Giant, in The Rock. There's more money in creating those, building other people up from a financial point of view than it even is to build himself up. And I'm just running with that model in my own personal life. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that's really sort of spot on with the yeah, I just think it makes a lot of sense. So progression is so important. So I want to help people actually tap into the progression. What can they do in their life to help them, what are they struggling in? Like for me, it was financial. Then the third is my favorite, the expression. What do you have to do to help you to express? For my wife, it's very easy. For her, it's graphic design, it's art. It's her expression comes through her art. For me, my expression comes through talking with people. Yeah, I don't really have much skills really anywhere else. I try to play soccer, I can't kick a ball. I can't really do there's so many things I can't do. But the one thing I feel like I can do pretty well is that I'm a people person and I connect. So it's part of the progression and contribution. For me, it's all kind of wrapped into one. But the expression is that for me, the happiness that I get from having a really awesome conversation with people, and helping my mate Darren with his real estate stuff, and we're talking back and forth. Like one day, 2 hours at work, I was just talking to him about helping his real estate, and it was just absolutely awesome to me to be a part of that. To know that he says to me, "Oh, because of you, this happened. Because of you," and I don't want the accolades. It's just the fact that this is how I do shit. And making a difference to people, and my expression is through speaking, which most people probably know me 5% know that I can't stop talking, which is pretty ironic that I want to start a podcast so I can listen to everybody else speak. It's going to teach me how to listen, and I'm not a good listener. So I need to start listening, because we've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. We're supposed to listen twice as much as we speak. So I think that that's very interesting. Yes, bro, and what I'll do on the esports thing, I'm going to actually do another Facebook Live, actually pretty much all next week. I'm going to run into the Amiga Sports. I've got the domain's registered. I haven't got time to even build my own website, so I've probably got to get someone to do that. I want to start marketing it. I want to start getting some like low sort of people that my brother-in-law is a very good League of Legends player, which I don't think he plays much anymore. I think he plays that Fortnite game. Tapping into that market is absolutely huge, and I kind of like the gaming. My wife likes the gaming. Pretty much half my family love gaming, so it's going to be quite an interesting venture. It may not go anywhere, but it's going to take a lot of time. And when I started Amiga Digital, which was formerly APG, I could give that 100% of my time. With Amiga Sports, I'm probably going to need someone. I think I need someone, probably financially backing, because I need to get stuff done that I just don't have time to do. I just sort of want to be the guy that sort of talks about it, does the videos, does the promos, does the marketing. But there's so much to running a business that I can't do mine and everything I do for Amiga like that. But it's something that is on the horizon, and I'm definitely keen to do it. So, guys, just in a nutshell, I want more people on my podcast. I want to start listening to people, especially from startups to established businesses. I have 2 this month already. Matthew Forzan from Yoga Digital, David James from Business Growth Marketing. I think that's his business name. That's not, I feel like an idiot. How they establish online marketing businesses, so I can just shut up and listen to what they do, how they do it. And also I want to start getting people from startups, and I think that's going to be really interesting. The fact I'm doing this podcast, I want to do it now. Is there anyone out there right now? Can I do it right now, please? Okay, sorry about that. I'm just very excited. The other thing I want to start with Amiga Digital, start 2 new divisions, Amiga Talent, which is going to be going out and probably finding the next young batch of talent, not only helping them secure a job in the future, but we get paid upon a very successful applicant. And we're building a recruitment of just marketers. I've been doing this stuff for 11 years. It's a good way to give back and contribute, as well as, I'm helping those kids coming through, because a lot of them think when they come out of university that they know a lot about marketing. Problem is they don't know much about marketing, and setting them up for what it's going to be like when you work at an agency, the politics and all the rest of it, on top of getting trained. I could actually come up with a course which I realistically can't see launching until 2019. Amiga Sports is more further down the line. The business model is put together. I will be helping personal branding. I'll be sponsoring and advertising for esports players, to get more views on Twitch, to start building careers out of esports, helping young, actual normal sport players sort of with their personal branding, where a lot of them, like overseas is pretty big, in America and Europe, this is all pretty much already established. But I really look forward to sort of bringing that in. Realistically, that probably will be closer to the end of the year launch. But Amiga Talent is still further away, so it's very exciting. And also I've started an LFC podcast through Andy G. So I'm sort of, that will be worked under Amiga Sports, but it's sort of my personal thing. So if I set up from a company under Amiga Sports, it will be different, be my thing only, and maybe my best mate Darren. And the anxiety, I'm actually going to start helping more people do help with that. Any questions on that? I'm going to shut up now. I think that was a pretty good video, 30 minutes. I've got to upload it to the MP3 and all the rest of it. Yeah, I think that was actually a pretty cool video. I think I said what I had to say. That's it. Oh, yeah. See you in the next video. I'm done one of these. I thought I was going to speak for 10 minutes. Oh, guess I didn't.